Hello and welcome everyone, and in this video I'm going to be telling you about investing, stocks, mania phase, Bitcoin, and of course I'm actually going to tell you more about my own personal opinion about what is going on right now in the stock market. Should you invest in it or you should stay away from it? Now, with that said, I have to give you my own disclosure. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I really supposed to give you financial advice. So consider this just my own educated opinion and make your own decisions before you make any investing. And of course, you can totally disagree with everything I tell you because, of course, I'm not somebody who knows it all. I made huge amount of mistakes before, and I made a lot of money as well in the stock market. And of course, my performance is not going to be the same one as yours. So you can either lose a lot or win a lot listening to me. With that said, let's talk about investing. So the first thing about knowing about investing is to examine history. Now, as somebody who is a history major, I love looking at charts. I love looking at them, and the reason for that is simple. History always does repeat itself. You don't know when, but it usually does. So let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. What is this, first of all? It is a component of 30 leading stocks in the United States. Some of the best stocks that are making the most money are featured and all combined as the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And when one of them is not performing so good, they take it out and they switch and they put another good stock in there. So it shows the current economy. The current economy is showing with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So the current economy is showing with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So what really happens, and this is a classic mistake of newbies, sometimes the Dow Jones Industrial Average can still go up, yet the stock market itself eventually is going to start to go down. When this happens, it is a very bad sign. It means we are near a recession or something is going to happen sooner or later. Take a look at what happened right here in the year 2007. As you can see, it went all the way up and then it crashed all the way down. Same thing right here as well. So every time you see those parabolic moves, well, a stock or a group of stock goes one direction, they always go and head the other direction later on. Now, they usually climb up very, very slow. Like when you go up the staircase, trying to reach the top of an Empire State Building. Now, when you get all the way to the top, there's only one way down, and it is down the elevator. Usually you're too tired to walk down. Plus, it's always faster to go down than to go up. Which also tells you in the stock market itself, when something crashes, it falls down big and fast. Now, I'm not saying the stock market Now, I'm not really telling you that the stock market is going to crash tomorrow just because it is at all-time high. That is not something I can predict, neither do experts can. But you can find out if you see bubble-like territory going into a mania phase. Now, what is a mania phase? Mania phase is when everybody just buys just about anything because they want to make quick money. Now, there's actually a sign of quick money going on right now. Guess what it is? It is called something. So let's examine mania. It's called mania stock market. When you're actually going to be typing that in, you're going to be pressing on images, and we can see some things that are shown. And my favorite graph right here is the mania phase right there. So let's view the image right here. So here's how it actually goes. And right now, I think we are somewhere within like delusional right here, or to greed, where all the public is just piling in stock market, piling in gold, piling just anything, just any kind of asset, because they think they can make quick money. Now, the smart money, they bought all the stuff in around 2009, 2010, when everybody was afraid to touch stocks. Institutional money goes in later on, and of course, they're buying stuff as well. Right now is you have to sell it to the last sucker, and the last sucker left is usually the plain six-pack Joe. That's right, the last person left out there who wants to invest in stocks, who totally didn't believe in it, is now thinking, hey, if they can do it, it's time for me to get back right in the market itself. And usually that person gets in at the wrong time, and the stock market then actually crashes. So here is what happens. This is a very old story right here of the tulip bulb mania, the first one of those parabolic mania curves that ever happened. So this is, and that's what happened when you get a parabolic curve and people just keep on sticking money into one specific thing and it keeps on going up. Now we have something going on right now, which is in Bitcoin. So this was in the year 2013 when it went to 135 bucks, and people thought that was expensive back then. Long and behold, Bitcoin itself went into a bigger market and a bigger mania. So let's type in Bitcoin mania just to see the charts here. So Bitcoin mania right here. And let's take a look at another chart right here. This one went even higher, but nothing yet, because the latest one is around 3,000 bucks or so. So Bitcoin, just type it in, type in all, and let's take a look at the prices, Bitcoin prices. Take a look at this. This is interesting. So Bitcoin itself went from the year 2014 up to right now, then it went parabolic all the way up in the year 2017 to almost 3,000 bucks a share. Now, if this is not mania, I don't know what actually is, because it doesn't really have a real value.
That was talked about last night by Mark McLaughlin on Mad Money. Now, he's Palo Alto. They're having just a great quarter. We got to talking about how, yes, that when you get hit by a cyber attack and ransomware, you have to pay them in Bitcoin. Now, did you guys know this? When you get hit and you're not sure how to do Bitcoin, that the cyber attackers have customer service desks to tell you how to buy Bitcoin to pay them. Now, I know this is not facetious. They have customer service desks. And you want to know why one of the reasons why Bitcoin, no, there are many reasons why Bitcoin, there are whole countries that are trying to get money out of their country with Bitcoin. But I think the idea that when you're attacked and they give you a customer service, they give you an 800 number to dial to tell you how to buy Bitcoin so that you can get your computer unfrozen. I mean, this is a business. This is a supermarket. It's like Sandy Wild wanted with a supermarket of finance, supermarket of cybersecurity.
It's global, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, although no intrinsic value, limited supply.
Right.
As Henry Blodgett told us the other day, it could literally go to $1 million.
I think that it could, because the European banks are frantically trying to buy them so that they can pay off ransomware. It's a short-circuited way short-term way to be able to deal with cybersecurity. But it is the way to pay off the bad guys, because they don't want it. It's better than bearer bonds. You know, like the bonds. It's the way you pay them is Bitcoin.
Now, a few days before this happened, before it crashed, there was #1 smartest person on the planet, so-called. His name is Cramer. He goes in there and tells in the news to every bunch of suckers who are watching his show, and I really do call them suckers. So they watch the show and he says, guess what? Bitcoin someday it's gonna get to $1 million. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of something like this, but if you're really a contrarian, you would think about this way. Hey, that guy is telling you, buy this stock. That means you go and sell it. That is the way to go. So when that happens, when the news itself is telling you that something is, goes exponentially higher, and I mean, it goes into, a show that is all financial entertainment. It's not even like investing advice. For sure, this thing is going to collapse. And long and behold, a week or so later, a lot of his fans probably lost big time money because it went down, and like 20% or so down. Now, I seen this happen because people were talking about Bitcoin, and everything about what it is, and people who like not even about go into those chat rooms on Facebook and that talk about just investing in stocks and talking about Bitcoin. Why should you buy this and so on? I mean, I saw people who Udemy teachers talking about it as well, and I was like, guys, this thing is just gonna collapse and it's going to happen because that's how it always happens with the bubbles. Now, why is this happening right now? Why is this going up? Take a look at the stock market. This is very, very important for you. So I want to show you this. So we have this graph right here, and this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a look at NASDAQ chart. This one was interesting. NASDAQ is even more interesting than that. And if you take a look at the NASDAQ chart, we have to go into max right here. Take a look at this. Another bubble territory as well. So in the year 2000 it went up and it crashed huge, big time. Same thing in the year 2007 as well. Coincidence? Both of them happened after a presidential election? I don't think so. Now let's go into another section right here with another election, and this one is getting to all-time high of 6,000 also on the NASDAQ. Now let's go to S&P 500. This is all the most important components of the stock market itself. It's a lot of companies all combined. That's what makes the S&P 500. It is 500 of the leading companies in United States, the best ones. So let's go and press on max and take a look at this interesting chart right here. So we have a double top right there. It breaks through the double top around 2012, continues all the way to 24,000 and so, and then it drops just a bit, not too much. So let's see, 52-week high. We are almost at 52-week high right there, 52-week low, and we are way not even close to that. Now the question is, why is this at this point? Well, there's money, and if you have money right now, what can you invest it in? You can't really put this in a bank because it's not going to make you any money. So there's a new generation who doesn't trust the stock market anymore. In fact, the people who are investing right now are probably people who, much older than the new generation. The new generation doesn't like to invest in stocks. They've seen what happened to their parents, how they lost everything in the stock market. So they go about and they invest in something new. Maybe Bitcoin, maybe something else. We don't know what they're investing in, but they are definitely not investing in stocks. There is other people who are investing in the stock market. I don't think that many millennials are actually investing in it. Maybe they're just getting in there. Maybe they'll finally decide this is the time for us to get in the stock market itself. I think it is actually a big mistake for people to get in when it is so close and pretty high up as it is. Plus, a new president is in power. Just not a great timing. This bull market is kind of old. In fact, since the year 2009 all the way to 2017, we are talking about 8 years of bull market. That's a very long time before any recession. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind when I look at those stats and tell you about is that Bitcoin, is this a mania? Is this something that people just jump into it? Is it something that people just want to get in? So let's type in Bitcoin mania. And is it a mania right now? And a lot of people saying all kinds of interesting things here. And I would not even pay attention to this. We just want images of the mania itself. So you take a look at some articles, some things that talks about this, and you can't really figure out anything by reading, and I wouldn't even try to do this, but I want to show you something else. So those are some famous or famous, whatever you call them, big market manias. And I really like to show you those because this is past news, and the past always repeats itself. So we have those vintage manias right here. Dow Jones Industrial Average, the big crash during the Great Depression right here. We have one right here, which is the tulip bulb mania as well. Huge crash, everybody piled in. South Sea Company, this one went very, very high and went down as well. And what it is about manias. I want to explain to people what it is. People pile in money. What is the stock market? The stock market is people who are investing, and not just a single person. We're talking about thousands of companies, hundreds of people, and maybe millions of. So what is the stock market? What is investing? Investing is when there is hundreds of different people. So what is the stock market? What is investing? What it is when a lot of people pile in, put in money into the same exact place. When a lot of people are investing in the same exact thing, the stock goes up. When they all put their money out, the stock falls down. And usually the way it goes is the more people are investing, the more people pile their money in, the higher it goes. It becomes a bubble. It's more easy for it to become a bubble when there's a bunch of people jumping in and bidding it up at the same exact time. This is what happens at the end of the bubble. People bid up like crazy. I want to show you something very, very important here. Let's go to Yahoo Finance and take a look at some symbols right here. So let's go to Tesla. Tesla itself is a company. It's a vehicle company, and the market cap is unbelievably high for a company that is losing money. It's not making any money, it's just losing money. And that is the whole problem with something like Tesla. Take a look at this. So this stock itself, IPO right there, 19 all the way to 27 or so. Then it went in and it took off. And when this company took off, it was amazing. And it continued a few years. And guess why? Because people are betting against the company and they are always losing. The company keeps on performing, keeps on executing, which actually makes this company pretty valuable. So it goes all the way up to $380 a share. I mean, a lot of rich people who betted against it, or whoever did, lost a bunch of money because they keep on betting against it, and it keeps on going up. But how much is the stock actually worth? The truth is, it's probably worth around 29 bucks or so a share. And let me show you exactly why I think so. So let's go in here, type in Tesla right there. Let's take a look at some professional chart of this company and why I think it's not really worth as much as people think it should. And there we go. I have the chart right here. Let's take a look at this whole thing. Now, in terms of charting, the chart itself looks good, but the value of this company is totally off, totally bad. Let me show you. Depth is pretty high, 1.64. And you see the red flags right there. Employees, it's okay, but here is the kicker right there. Book per share. The value of the company is around 30 bucks per share. Cash value is 25. So the company should be trading as close to this figure as possible. This company is trading 10 times more than this number. That is a company that is trading beyond what it actually is worth. So this is a company I would not touch. It is just too high up and too dangerous. Although it has a great future. I mean, electric cars could be the future, but the market cap of this company is unbelievably high. Take a look at this market cap right here. It is 60 billion. Let's take a look at another interesting company. They don't even make that many vehicles, to tell you the truth. Ford right here. This is another car company. Look at this. What a joke. So that company itself, Ford Motor Company, book per share, only 7 bucks. So it should be trading around, 10 bucks or so, right? Look at the number, 10. So something is totally off with Tesla. You can definitely see that. Now, let's take a look at another company right here, Amazon. Here's another one. This one went almost to 1,000 a share. If you look at monthly, you're gonna see this. It goes all the way up. Let's go to Apple. There's always some big companies. Apple itself. and monthly or weekly. Let's go take a look at some of those stats right here. And we see it goes all the way from 20 to 144. This was before the stock splits and everything else. Now let's go to Priceline, just another company here. And this one goes to 1,809 and started pretty cheap. And Netflix, another one, take a look at this. This one started very cheap as well, and now it's like very high right now too. Facebook, another one. Look at that, same graph, same thing going on here. This one actually it just keeps on going up, just like that. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is very simple. Almost every stock up there is at all times high. So it leads me to think, well, is the economy so great? I mean, can you get a job right now? Can you go right now and get a job that you're qualified in? In fact, can you get a job that you're not qualified in, something that you always wanted? Can you get a job really easy? Can you just quit your job and get one and get even a better job? You should be asking that yourself. Oh, are you really having a hard time making money? Which one is it? Is this economy doing great? Or is those statistics totally off compared to the everyday Joe? That is the question. So, if the answer is no, the economy is not doing so well, and the stats are lying, then something is off here. And eventually, if Main Street and Wall Street are not at the same level, usually this means something, and eventually stock market would go back to the mean. With that said, they are going and increasing the interest rate very small, so they're moving it by a quarter every single time. Eventually somebody is going to make a mistake, and if they're going to go and up the interest rate and make it go up when there's actual recession, that's a very dumb move, not smart, and that's what causing something like a huge crash like 1987 or so, when the stock market itself is just way too high and it's not at the level it's really supposed to be trading at. Now, who knows when the bubble is actually going to end? The bubble could end in a month, it could end in a year, it could end in a very long time. Now, usually when a second two-term president just comes in, so after 2 terms of one president, which was Obama, we have a new president in power. What happens is when somebody new comes in, he usually tries to benefit the people who elected him in, and that's definitely not the same people who've been very happy with the current president, because there's the Democratic Party and the Republican. They are actually trying to solve different kind of people, and since half the population votes for Democrat at each time and the other half votes for the Republican Party, guess what is going to happen? Usually when a new president comes in after a 2-term president, the market itself changes. He does and tries to help the people who elected him, and of course that usually causes a recession, and then the jobs start to go to people who elected that kind of person. It makes them happy, and so he usually gets elected for another 4-year term, and then the people who've been for 8 years couldn't find a job and so on, because the economy changed. Either they had to change what they were doing, or they went through a brutal recession again. They will go and elect somebody else, and so on, and the cycle just continues every 8 years or 4 years, whatever you think is the right one also. Anyway, regardless, this is my take on bubbles and why you should not even invest in bubbles. When you see things like that, the best place for you to put your money is in your pocket, or even better, into the bank, if you of course believe the bank is the best place to invest. And I do. I think banks are probably the best place for you to put your money at, because putting your money somewhere else is just not safe, especially when you see stocks going in such a record high. Bitcoin itself is maybe not a good place for you to put money. And with this said, if you enjoyed this video or you have anything else to say about, make sure you post something right below. Your opinion actually counts, so make sure you put in a comment below. Another thing is, if you like this video and want to see more of it, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And with that said, have a good day and see you in another video.